Hey guys, welcome to episode 5 of the Dota 2 Weekly Update. My name is SUNSfan. Joining me as always is Reaves, and our
Hello.
special guest, shut up Reaves, our special guest of the week, Purge. How's it going, big boy?
Pretty good. I'm only moderately sized, but I appreciate the exaggeration of my size.
Absolutely, anytime. And actually, if you
Happens
didn't
to
know
me
already,
all the time, Purge.
yes, but in different scenario for you. Actually, last episode, the most sought out person to have as a guest was Purge, believe it or not.
Really?
I know you didn't watch any of our videos, so you don't deserve to know this, but I thought it'd make you feel a little bit better.
I watched
Although-
a combined 8 or so minutes of multiple of your videos.
There we
Okay,
go.
I just confirmed that Cyborg Matt's voice was the same one that I'd heard in the past, and I also saw Loomis's image. So there, right?
You know, in retrospect, though, you were also the least wanted because you were basically all people were talking about. They either wanted you on the show or didn't. So
Yeah, it's the best of both worlds kind of thing.
That's perfect. I am very polarizing to some people. That's for sure.
All right, so let's get started with this week's update, which has a decent amount of stuff added. One of which, of course, the highlight, if you will, Lanaya, whatever you want to call her, Templar Assassin, Reeves' favorite hero from the original Dota, I might add.
she's easily my best hero. So I'm really excited.
And if you guys can't tell, we're being completely sarcastic because I was shocked to hear that Reeves had no idea who this hero even was, which is
Evidently, no one fucking played her, okay? But no, I can't remember her for some reason. And there's multiple reasons you could choose from. So let's just move past it.
So let's start first with Purge, asking you, what do you think about the hero itself and how it fits into competitive play?
Well, to sidetrack for just a moment, her acronym is actually TA, and I'm a little disappointed that she is not more bodacious, because I'm sure they should have gone with that theme at least with TNA. So I'm a little disappointed with that. Some of the other women are a lot more slutty, I guess, is the best way to describe. Well, that's not accurate.
I
at
wish
all.
I could see
That's,
behind that mask, though. You never know.
Yes, yeah, that's true. She's not like the typical video game girl. Not that that's always a good thing.
So
at
what
all,
you're
but-
saying is you want
I
them to
suppose.
increase her cup size in the next patch. That's
No,
her
I'm just.
priority.
It's just not thematic, you know. I looked at it today and I was like, everybody's talking about Tia, and then it finally made sense to me, and it was just not.
Well, if
appropriately-
you'd have read her backstory, you'd know that she had a lot of back issues, so she had them
Okay.
downsized. But
so she's really just fighting.
I must be
against
the only one that reads the lore on these heroes.
I actually haven't read any lore at all. I'm totally anti. Well, not anti-lore, but like I just
I'm on the same boat.
I
I'm
just
not.
don't care.
Of course,
If
Reeves
you-
just he makes up his own lore at this point.
Yeah. I'm gonna start a fan blog where I write my own lore. It's gonna be great.
Beautiful. All right. Anyways.
Sponsor!
competitive aspect. I know some teams want to play it in Fuse specifically. They're kind of a team that likes to. They're probably like a tier 2 team, top 15 or so, in terms of all the other teams. I know that Wagamama really likes the hero, and they'll pick him at some point. But I don't think we'll necessarily see a ton of play. I know that the Southeast Asian scene likes Templar Assassin a lot, and sometimes first round picks or bans her, and she has tons of burst damage, including lots of minus armor. So I think there's a possibility that she will see play. Her chase is good, her burst damage is insane, and refraction against certain lineups, mostly single target, burst nuke damage. You don't want damage over time, essentially. You want big damage chunks, so like Line would be a good hero to have against her, or to have her against, stuff like that. So I think she has a possibility to see a lot of play, but you know what? I don't think it's gonna be a lot of play. I think she'll see occasional picks. Maybe she'll make her way to the metagame, which will be played a lot, but I don't think there's really like a hero that needs to be countered with her at the moment. Maybe you could argue maybe she's good against Morphling and anti-mage and stuff like that, but I think she'll see some experimentation, and we'll see where it goes from there, basically.
Yeah, I don't have too much to add to that other than, well, Reeves, let's talk about the way she looks, since you can't tell us how she plays.
Well, I know some things.
No,
I
you
mean,
don't.
I as a Dotacinema staff member, I did watch the video. So,
Oh, yeah.
but you know, the one thing that might help her in the competitive scene, you know, there's a lot of heroes that have like travel spells and things but they don't necessarily break like nukes and things like that, or like slow moving. And I guess her invisibility will actually disjoint quite a few spells, so that ups her maneuverability at least in fights and stuff like that. Her traps, like you said, are great. Just the cast time on them, plus that slow, is going to be disgusting for chasing, let alone the fact that you can't see where she is as she's chasing you if she's playing it right. So I like that she can put those traps up and they never go away unless she chooses to. I didn't see in your video that you said how many she could put down, but I'm guessing probably
11.
4. What?
11.
What?
It's dependent on the level, I believe.
Yeah, level 3, it's 11, and I mean, there's like a second, I think, fade time that the enemies can kill it. Well, they can kill it any time if they have vision, obviously, but
It has 2-second fade time.
2-second fade time. There we go.
Mhm.
But
Generally, it's pretty hard to
kill. How do I know
them,
these
to be
things and you
honest.
don't? All right, so I'm now the host. I'm now the host of the update.
all right, please take it away, Reese. Take it away.
Yeah, right. But as far as I don't know a ton about her other abilities. I can't remember
well, tell
other
us
than she
what
does.
you think of how she looks.
Oh, how she looks. I'm with Purge on. We could increase that cup size just a little bit, but I'm still thinking of her back. But as far as how she looks, I think she looks great. I hope that they don't get into using too many face masks in this game. We have quite a few heroes now that have the face mask thing, and it's kind of a cop out for editing
I think
the rest
in
of her face.
this scenario, and I can't remember the character's name from Mortal Kombat, but I think she might have jagged teeth, which isn't too appealing for the oral scene. So that's probably why they put the
Oh,
mask
who
right
is
there.
that?
Yeah, you gotta hide those. So
Yeah, I can't remember the Mortal. If anybody knows the Mortal
I
Kombat
know what you're
character,
talking
post
about,
it in the
though.
comments. Yeah,
it's
Her
like some
fatalities
normal-looking
were
girl, and then her
ridiculous.
mouth is like insane.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like freaking Velociraptor up in there.
But I like her little hair braid in the background. I hope it's I can't remember from the video, but I hope it bobs around and stuff when she runs. And I like her super long sleeve that you'd get made fun of for wearing anywhere else but Dota. It's pretty intense. Other than that, she looks good. I like the colors.
Yeah, I like the colors a lot, and I think the spell effects are really, really good. In
Spell
fact,
effects are great.
the ultimate, the traps or psionic traps, whatever the guy's name they're called, they're almost to the point where you feel like they should do more because it has a huge explosion, it has this awesome sound, and like it slows them. Like
Well, it's right up there with Vengeful Spirits. Was it Howl?
yeah, the Howl of Terror, or whatever.
Just
it's called.
whoa, God! Oh,
Yeah,
I'm okay.
yeah, I
25
remember
damage.
that
the
wasn't
first
so bad.
International. I was like, oh my god, what is that awesome looking spell? And I was like, that's Wave of Terror.
Yeah,
I was
and
like,
then you had Lich ult that looked like a little dinky thing, and they finally fixed that.
that's
So
true.
yeah, that's
Like,
the
gave me
effects are amazing.
goosebumps, but that's it. It didn't hurt so bad.
All right, next up we have. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Purge. By all means.
I just want to talk about her cosmetics a little bit.
Yeah.
Jokes aside about the TNA, I think she looks awesome and appropriately sized in all areas, and I'm concerned about her back as well. So I think that's fine like that. And the trap is still pretty intimidating. You don't really experience it until you have a TA coming to kill you afterwards. And like when you get slowed, you're like, I am so slowed right now, and it's never gonna stop because the cooldown is so low on it. And it's at that point where she chases you down, and then she goes invisible for that quarter second. You're like, I am so screwed right now, and you just take that burst damage of the minus armor, and it gets really shitty. So
Yeah.
just wait till you play a real game against her, and then you'll start.
Yeah, it can get to the point where
explosion happens.
Yeah.
You can get to the point where she just is. If you stop and turn around to actually fight her, she just surrounds you with traps. So you better win because you're not getting away.
Yeah, exactly. Or TP, and pray to God she can't 3-shot you.
Pray to God.
So next up, now this one I thought was a typo actually. Well, first of all, Disruptor and Undying added to Captain's mode as per norm a week later, but Templar Assassin immediately put into Captain's mode. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I thought that was a bug as well, honestly.
Please use her, please.
We're not going to see them in the Star Series LAN finals. I can pretty much guarantee. Pretty much whenever there's a tournament going on the same weekend that Hero comes out, they say off limits.
Right.
Especially, which is totally appropriate because Undying would immediately see play. Disruptor would see some play as well. And Templar Assassin, probably not. But the other two heroes, I would say, pretty much for sure, we'll see Undying and Disruptor as soon as they're pickable. But I was definitely very surprised to see TA already enabled. I was like, really? Okay.
Purge,
Yeah.
what kind of lineup would you expect to see Templar in?
She can solo mid pretty effectively. Kind of depends on the matchup. Using her third skill or Psy Blades or whatever they're called, because you can do some weird splash damage things. That was more of a pub strat that I've seen before, but just kind of go mid. You can do like Phase Boots Bottle, go for a fast Blink Dagger, and then from there do some ganking on sidelines. So she has good mobility. She can play like a semi-carry role, maybe a hard carry depending on items, but you'll probably see like Desolator Blink pickups with maybe a Blacking Bar, something like that.
Oh, Deso on her is so
But
disgusting.
she's basically like a semi to hard carry somewhere in there, and she'll do like a semi ganking role. But definitely a very interesting character. It'll really depend on what the enemies have, because if they have like a Venomancer or something, she'll get screwed because it has that damage over time that'll burn through refraction damage blocks, and it's gonna be very lineup dependent, I think, when she sees play.
Yeah, that's true. The dots really destroy that skill.
Big time.
Good question, Reeves.
Yeah, good question, Reeves. Congratulations.
Sure.
Do you want a pat on the back there, buddy?
New
Take a
host, I'm
blowjob.
calling for it.
Okay, by all means, I would love not to be the host. Anyway, next hero is the question. Now, before we get into this, there was a picture posted on Reddit with the Templar Assassin picture, the bottom right. You can see the face of Naga Siren. So, assuming that's going to be the next year. But then again, we saw Nyx Assassin last week, so not quite sure.
They're trolling us.
It's like they're trying to hype us up or something.
Yeah. So
Which I'm not cool with.
It's going to be Nyx and Naga. Watch. And there actually was another picture even better that shows a Tuskar picture on the bottom left, which I found quite amusing, which I'll post in the video itself.
If they put Naga in, I'm gonna cry. There is nothing that ruins a team fight faster than her frickin' ult.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
Have you just played against it since the remake?
No, I haven't played since they did. Was it Riptide? Is it called now? I think. I haven't played since, it used to be Crit or whatever.
Apparently sucked before, and they just remade it again. Well, I mean, she was a pretty strong hero. They actually remade her a couple times. They made, they buffed her illusion. She used to split, like as she leveled it up, she would get more and more illusions. And now it's how much damage they take. They go from like 600% down to 300, which is a more reasonable illusion. So what people would do is just max out net. Well, now they can just get one illusion, and now they can go max out net pretty fast with Riptide. But before that wasn't possible. And now Riptide actually goes on an AoE from all of the illusions, so you can actually spread it out in a team fight and do all of this minus armor on everybody in the team fight. It's AoE as well. It had like a kind of a weird cast animation. It was a very slow projectile. It was like fire breath, but it was very weird.
So let me ask you
I've
this.
actually played her since she got remade again.
So I mean, I'm talking about way back when she used to have critical strike. Why did they get rid of that? She seemed to be played a decent amount. Is it because they wanted to get rid of skills that were on multiple heroes, you think?
At that point in the game, all the carries that were being picked had to have some kind of lane contribution. And as a hero at that time, she had an illusion split, she had a net, it's a good single target disable, and she had a crit. So if you think about putting her into a tri lane, what is she going to do? She's going to throw a net on some dude, and then she's melee. And she can split off, but who cares? It's not doing any extra damage, really. It's doing like very meager damage output if one AoE is going to kill him. So at that point, it was like, okay, well, with all of these heroes, they can't do crap in a tri lane. They can go to a lane, but they can't contribute at all. So we saw Troll Warlord remakes, so now he's got axes, which can slow and do damage. We saw the Naga Siren get a remake so that she can actually have a nuke in her lane, which is changing the strength of the hero. She's not as good late game, but she's better early game. And those are the shifts that were being made by Ice Frog to try to make those heroes relevant in the pro scene. And that's what it's all about. You have to make them relevant to the lane.
Yeah, that just actually just reminded me, actually. I didn't even think about this, but going off your logic, the Medusa okay, this is like 2 years ago, obviously. Medusa, I believe, was it Splitfire they got rid of in place of that snake thingy that
no,
burns
she had
mana?
Chain Lightning.
Oh, so they got rid of Chain Lightning?
And they changed her ulti. Yeah, she used to have Chain Lightning. It was straight up Chain Lightning. You cast it in a bounce, and it was like, woo, Chain Lightning.
Interesting. I don't even remember that, actually.
And her ulti used to be a single target purge ability. Shout out to the best ability ever. It was usable on one target only.
Yeah,
so,
and now it's, if you're facing her, you get slowed or something like that, right?
Yeah. At first, it looked, when I first started using that ability, I was like, this ability is hard to use and it kind of sucks. But when you use it effectively, it's scary. I remember one team fight where we were playing, I think I was like a Necrolite, and we were playing against an Undying and a Medusa. And he dropped the Tombstone. Our team turned to attack it, and she stood by the Tombstone, she popped her ulti. And everybody was so slow, and we just died because then we had to, I mean, it's a huge, huge slow. And it's AoE, it kills illusions, and it removes buffs like double damage, haste, stuff like that sometimes. Surge, I think it'll probably remove things like that. So if your team is looking at her and she uses it at the right time, it's like an insane disable on their whole team. And that's when you turn around, you pop the snake, you just right click, and your team follows up. So she's actually a very strong hero. The downside is you have to farm for 35 minutes to get there. So she probably won't see pro play right now.
Yeah, she's very, at least when I used to watch in Dota 1, very boring. You just sit at top or whatever lane you're in and just farm the whole freaking game.
If you like killing creeps, she's fun.
Yeah, true. Okay, moving on to the actual patch again. The UI, one little change that I've been waiting for forever. It's not even that big of a change, but I've been waiting for this for so long. I don't know why they didn't put it in a million years ago, but when you unpause the game, there is now a countdown. So praise to whatever god you pray to. I'm just very happy to see this, and I don't know why did they not put this in earlier? Is there anything that comes to anybody's mind?
They were busy.
Yeah, dude, they got shit to do. You want new heroes? You want 2 new heroes a week?
All right, now putting all joking aside, I've had a little bit of programming experience in the past, and not to knock on Valve because they're amazing, but this takes literally 5 minutes to implement. I mean, the visual thing may be a little bit extra, but just as far as code goes. They were so busy
that 5 minutes was too much.
Yeah, I guess so.
Dude,
it wasn't for those 5 minutes, we would have had all these heroes, I guess.
I mean, I think you're looking at it too easily. I mean, I've done programming too, so I know what some of it entails, but you have to understand how much shit they have to do to make this game finish, and just look at all the extra stuff that they're doing that nobody expected them to ever do. Like,
It's true.
I don't know, injured animations. Like, did anyone see that coming? When the first one came out, I was like, "Are you what?"
Yeah,
I had no idea. Like, I hadn't read a single comment about that for months and months leading up. Nobody was like, "It would be really cool, make this game awesome." Injured animations, just
Yeah.
that little stuff that they all have. I know they have a giant list of tasks to do, and they are getting to their stuff as they get there. And I don't fault them at all. The only thing that I hate about the pause right now is that when I'm casting and the game is paused, it literally is on the top of everything. Like, the mask for it is on the top of everything. So I open up the graph, and I can't see the graph numbers, like right at the edge, right in the middle, where the 0 mark is. That's really frustrating.
Well, that's a whole new pet peeve for me, is the whole graph thing. They need to completely make
Yeah, I
that
thought
not
that's what you were going to talk
ridiculous.
about.
They
No,
also
that-
need to
that's-
reduce the number of pauses allowed, in my opinion.
Well, tournament's
I've
been
had
a little bit
so
more
many-
hardcore lately too on that.
Well, people are freaking. This is pubs, of course.
Oh,
like, I
pubs,
don't
yes.
play for tourney. Yeah,
You
but
don't?
for me,
Oh, okay.
there's
You
no.
don't?
Yeah, I don't. Recently, I've taken some time to just reflect on
To
my
learn
epicness.
Linnea and every other hero. Yep.
Yeah, just saying her name takes years. But there's nothing worse than trying to run in on people and them getting 8 pauses to talk about how they're going to get out of the team fight. And it happened to me in 2 pubs now, and I hate it.
Yeah.
Sounds like circumstantial. It just happened to happen right when you're getting killed.
Well,
You're
if you're really,
circumstantial, Purge.
They
if you're
noticed
really
Reaves,
badass enough,
that's
you would
why.
have killed them anyways. You would use that time to master plan yourself.
Well, it wasn't a. This is a pub. It wasn't a well planned attack.
Okay, this is-
but
this
it
is
definitely
how-
would have gone better.
This is how pubs go. Me and Purge, either of us join a game, people see our names, they're like, oh, we need to kill this person as much as possible. But when they see Reaves, they're like, we can't let him kill us. So they pause it every time you're about to kill them and try to avoid it at all costs.
I don't play heroes that get kills.
Either way, it would just be embarrassing is all I'm saying. Anyway, moving on with the patch. Right now we're going to go over some of the economy type stuff that's been added, and more importantly, the Storm Spirit announcer, which I have to say, and I know me and Reaves and I are going to be releasing an announcer pack in the near future, but I think the Storm Spirit announcer pack is probably the best announcer pack that's ever going to come out. It is amazing. Have you guys had a chance to listen to it?
Rampage!
Yeah, pretty good. Did you listen to it, Purge?
I actually haven't listened to any of the announcer packs yet. I always like check occasionally. Every 4 games I remember to check, and I haven't actually been in a game with an announcer pack yet. So
It's
Reaves, what do you
really
think about it?
good. It's
I mean,
really
I could just
good.
talk to myself when I play anyways, right? That's pretty much the same
You should
thing.
just make your own Purge announcer pack so you can just listen to yourself. That'd be good.
Totally could.
That's-
That wouldn't be
that's
weird
what,
at all.
That's what we did in Han Purge. We made our own, and we were like one of the 10 people that used it.
Yeah,
It's pretty good.
it was really popular.
Nice.
So yeah, Storm Spirit announcer pack was released officially. I think there's an Axe one coming out, but there's no sound set for it yet. Not too excited about that one personally, but maybe for the Axe fans out there. And then another announcer pack that was released, which is the first user-created one through the workshop, is the Pirate Captain announcer, which is also very good. What do you guys think of? If you've listened to it, what do you
Well,
think?
we
Oh,
talked-
somebody actually made it?
Yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
Didn't we talk about that a little bit last update?
yeah, but it wasn't released until today.
Sure. Well, same as last week. I think it's fantastical. I like it better than you like Storm Spirit, I know, but I like the pirate one a lot. But I like pirates, so
True. You are a butt pirate after all.
and turtles, and you're gay.
Excuse me.
Mm. Oh, sorry, master.
All right.
That's good that they're actually doing community-based things. I know I looked at the Glacier Tiny thing. I don't think that's out yet, but people have been
Mhm.
raving about that, and there's been other stuff. So it's good to see that things are finally trickling through like that.
Yep, and we're actually going to talk about some of the things that were added this patch in a second. But first, we've talked about this in the past, how the defense had its own ticket that you could buy to watch it, and it even has its own courier actually through chest or something like that. But now they finally today added the Gosu Monthly Madness Asia and also the Star Series Season 2 Land Finals tickets for purchase. So I say finally, they're going to be expanding now to other tournaments. And I mean, I'm sure Purge has a lot to say about this, but I have to say that it's awesome to see. The defense was kind of like the testing bed, the guinea pig, if you will. It started off a little bit shaky, but they've seemed to iron everything out, and I think it's going to be smooth sailing from here on out.
I think a good idea for the future. I love the ticket idea. Like, just them doing that in general is awesome. But I think about, like, wow, what's the name? What's the name of the Twitch channel where you have to pay to watch the matches in high def? For
NASL.
StarCraft?
There's a few.
NASL.
Yeah, well,
NASL and stuff.
it'll be fun when I'd like Valve to kind of roll around and be like, oh, you can actually buy a ticket on Steam to watch it live in HD on this channel, and I think they'll get a lot more use through it like that than simply buying a ticket to go. I think they'd also make money doing
Wait,
something
what?
like that.
What are you talking? Do you know? Okay, I don't think. Do you not understand what it means? The ticket.
Evident.
Okay, so I'll explain it to you. So it's like explain it to somebody somebody that's watching that perhaps doesn't know.
You get to enter the game and watch.
Yeah, you enter the game and watch. That's what the ticket's for. You can choose to just watch it for free, technically, with ads on the stream site, but through Valve, like let's say Valve sells these tickets.
I get it. I'm just saying that it also on the stream sites.
All right, Purge.
I get it.
I'm just ignoring you at this point. I am now the host again. Purge, your opinion on this.
All right. As a whole, I think they're very good. First of all, I love the flags that the teams can set up. Those are awesome.
True.
The banners on the map, I think that all makes everything look a lot better. A lot of the teams don't actually use them. I think since the flags were added last week, I've only casted, I believe, one game where both of the two teams had the flags set up.
Interesting.
And it's just like the teams need to get their brains around the marketing aspects. The managers of their sponsored teams, they have to sit their players down and be like, look, we are losing thousands and thousands and thousands of eyes on our products and our sponsors every single game that you play. Get your crap together and put your flags on the map. Like, it's ridiculous that they haven't done that yet.
Yeah, that's
so teams
just
need to do it.
common
And
sense.
it looks so awesome, seriously. I seriously zoom in on every flag every single game. Well, not everyone, but at least once during the game, I literally zoom in my screen and check out the flags and read the sponsors. That is so much sponsor service right there.
We talked about that a little bit on the last, we were all kind of wondering, okay, those flags are kind of small. Who actually is going to zoom in and look at those? Obviously you do, which is great. But I look at it as like when I see a Reese's cup commercial on TV.
Here we go. It's
This is
Reese's,
all
for God's sake. Reese's. It's not
listen.
Reese's. It's not feces, Reese's. It's Reese's. Continue.
So when I see a Reese's commercial
God.
on the television, I'm
Television?
like, who needs to see the commercial for that at this point? Like, if I want a Reese's, I go out and buy a Reese's.
It's so annoying.
I'm gonna keep saying that exactly like that just because I know it grates you. But are the flags really necessary for marketing, or just kind of a fun thing for teams to do?
It's not about fun, man. It's about the advertising money. I mean, the problem with esports in a lot of ways, and this is something that a lot of prominent figures talk about, is you have to demonstrate value to your sponsors. If you don't demonstrate value to your sponsors, they're basically paying you a couple $100s a month to play some game, and they get like a random mention occasionally, and they're not getting the money that they're putting towards you, and you want to do that. If you do that, then they're never going to stop paying you money to play this game until the eyes on your product is low enough. It's just a very simple marketing thing. And if you can demonstrate the value to the sponsors, they're going to give you more free stuff, they're going to pay you more salaries, all the tournaments are going to be higher prize pool, there'll be better tournaments, everything is going to get better if you demonstrate value to the sponsors. That's where most of the money comes from.
Reeves, who's the name one sponsor for Navi?
Reese's.
So the point of this is to have the actual sponsor name show up. And you're saying that it's small, but I think you're thinking of the Courier flag. It's ridiculously small. It's not even, like, even if you zoom in, I don't know if you can see anything.
Yeah, that's tiny.
I'm specifically talking about those ones.
Right,
Of
but
course,
the ones,
other banners and
yeah,
things.
the banners on the map and whatnot, even at the top of the screen with, the logos and what, I mean,
Yeah.
very
Or
visible.
even the placement, man. It's the mid lane, it's the top lane, it's the bot lane, it's in the fountain. You look at those points many, many times throughout a game. Sponsors, team name, all the branding. It's all important. It's the only reason why I have a lot of viewers is because I branded myself. It all builds up. Every single view is one more person that from now on will be like, oh, Mouse, I watched their Dota 2 team. Maybe I'll watch their StarCraft 2 games now. It all ties in. All that stuff ties in. And Mouse has their stuff together. They have flags. I think Navi has flags as well, but there aren't really a whole lot of other teams that do it. It's very limited.
All right,
Should be important.
so that is the last real thing we're going to talk about, the actual updates. As far as cosmetics, that's where we're going to get started. If you guys would be so kind to go on Cyborg Met's blog at cyborgmet.com, of course. Thanks to him for supplying this amazing blog for us to actually steal all his information and make a video about it. The first thing, I think there were 7 different sets that people made in the workshop that were implemented in this patch. So a ridiculous amount of things that were made. So we don't have to spend too much time on this, but the first one is the Bloodsmith set. Do you guys have any comments on that? It's the axe one.
Blood Mist?
Or is it Blood Mist?
Yep.
See, in the game it said Blood Mist. On Cyborg it said Bloodsmith. And Both make sense
Cyborg's
to me.
wrong this time. Okay.
Yeah, it's the blood mist.
He has to miss the blood so that he can actually
Yeah, I guess so.
smith it in.
And so another axe. I mean, this is like the 10th axe thing. Are we getting sick of
Yeah.
axe at this point?
Nobody plays Axe.
I know.
At least at moderately high skill levels. Battle Hunger's annoying, but
Hey, I'm
I don't-
amazing mid with him. All right, that's high skill level.
I'm sure it's pretty. Yeah, it's pretty viable. I'm sure lots of pubs love him, and I don't know what his percentages are for plays, but really, what they should do is look at the top of the list, see of that website, and see what the most played heroes are. I know Pudge is up there. Just make
Pudge.
cosmetics for those heroes. That's what they need to do.
Yeah, that's we were talking about this last week a little bit too. I'm shocked that they haven't done Pudge yet because he's the, like you said, the most popular hero by far, not even close.
Yeah.
Invoker's
The
up there
books.
too though, and he's
Really?
gotten a decent amount of items. Actually, it is weird to think about Invoker. He's so complicated, but he's so intriguing to so many people, you know. But anyway, so Bloodsmith or Blood Mist, whatever. Next we got. Are you still here, Reaves?
Yep.
All right, just making sure, big boy.
I like the axe.
Good. Okay, Bounty Hunter. It's the Harden's Hunters set. You play
But they
Bounty
really
Hunter
doesn't-
occasionally. Go ahead.
Nobody plays it here.
It has
yeah.
so many blades. Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
So many. Looks
They're
very.
Pubs. He's good at pubs.
Accessory items.
It's definitely one of those League of Legends branded anti-fun heroes. I would, if I was to say anti-fun abilities, Rupture is definitely one of the most anti-fun abilities.
Yeah.
It's one of those abilities I hate playing against. But if you play it well, you just TP out and it's not a big deal. So
Now you have to stand still.
it just sucks when your allies don't realize. It's one of the most frustrating things. They get ruptured and they're just like, "Oh God, I'm dying, run," and it just gets worse. It's not fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, later, guy, you're ruptured. We're gonna keep running. You'll be fine,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
And next we got, what is it? Dragon Knight. Armor of Sir Davian.
Awesome.
Was that the giant shield with like the head gap and it's like a
Yeah.
beefy looking shield with a huge? Yeah, I saw that one. That one looked really awesome.
Hells
Now,
to the yeah.
it looks
does.
a little bit. I feel like I could be looking at in the workshop. I remember it looked a little bit better. The actual gray parts look like spandex to me.
What's wrong with that?
But in game it looks more like chainmail, I think. So I
The
think it looks
only
like spandex?
thing I'm worried
No,
about,
not in Dota 2. I don't like spandex.
or
it's in the-
confused about, I should say, is why the butt flap?
Dude, where's his tail's got to come out somewhere.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
guess
It's a
like,
good cover
he's-
for his tail.
he's wearing like basically a speedo, and then in the back there's this huge like ass cape.
They had to put an extra accessory there, bro. You buy that by itself.
Okay.
All right,
Well,
next
that
we got now this one's my personal favorite, and I don't even play this here very much. I know Purge does. Invoker Magnus set. I think it looks amazing. Comments?
I only play him when I want to hate myself for picking an overpowered hero.
Yeah, that's true. He's
the only time I
quite
play him.
overpowered.
Do you think Valve knows how overpowered he is?
It's not about Valve, it's about Ice Frog. And he's overpowered is maybe not the best way to say it, but he's very good. He's annoying to play
Well, I
against.
think there's three
Any
or four
hero can be
heroes that are
countered, but-
by far in a way better than him as far as overpowered, and I think
It's-
nature's
it just
profit and
depends
liking
on a
her
lot
too.
of things.
Well, I feel like I know there's pro players that are just ridiculous with him, but it seems like anytime they step up, he's banned instantly anyways, because people are like, that guy's good with Invoker, fuck that, and they instant ban him, so you don't get to see him very much. I want him to stay really good, but maybe tone him down a little so I get to see him more often, because he's so much fun to watch played by a skilled person. But he gets banned
Well,
in every
as long,
frickin'
if it's Exhort Invoker, then yes, he's very entertaining to watch. Otherwise, meh.
I think it's been there's been some back and forth. There was that when Invoker first came out, there was probably a month and a half where Invoker was definitely OP, and then he's actually been really sloping down a bit the last month and a half. Honestly, from what I've seen a lot of Invokers get played, and I haven't seen that many games where Invoker dominates. I don't know if it's just because we see a lot of push strats or because people are just like, okay, duh, we'll just gank Invoker a lot and they get shut down. It might just be because we're seeing more Exhort Quas Invokers, which means less likely to use invisibility or have a Ghost Walk ready when you do get ganked. But with the exception of today, I saw Empires Blow Your Brains play an Exhort Invoker where he went almost all Exhort. He got a Yule Scepter. He would Yules and then Sunstrike into Deafening Blast Meteor. It was disgusting. He was like essentially one-shotting about 900 HP heroes.
That's Faye
And
V, right?
I'm sorry?
That's Faye V, the player, right? Blow your brain.
His name was I don't know, but his tag was Blow Your Brain.
Okay.
and he was the
On
captain
Empire.
of Empire.
Yeah,
and they
that's
just got
great.
eliminated from Star Series Land Finals today. But it was amazing. I haven't seen somebody coordinate Exort, he didn't have any quas. He maxed out his Exort before he even got 4 and 4. So he didn't even go the typical Forge Spirit build. So it was very cool to watch. He really impressed me today. But other than that, I haven't seen Invokers dominate in probably a couple weeks. Most teams just don't pick them that often. I mean, they still play him, but it's like people are getting better against playing him or something.
Yeah, they've just gotten
Something
used to
like
it.
that.
As opposed to, Nature's Prophet and Lycan that are still banned every single game. Or if they're picked, the team just automatically wins for the most part.
That's not true.
Well, for Furion it is.
Frickin'
Lycan and
Prophet.
That's not true.
Furion's rigged, bro, alright?
Dude, his win ratio is pretty close to 50,
What?
I think.
No, there's
might
no
be wrong,
way.
but
He's so good.
I believe
So-
Lycan is the most still, but
Anyway, moving on. I don't really like this one very much. The Dauntless Juggernaut set. Any comments?
You need to back off the jug masks for a while.
I'm gonna completely
Yeah.
agree with that. That's exactly what I was gonna say.
They're kind of overdoing
There's too much
it.
jug.
Well, I mean,
It's a very popular pub hero right now,
That's
but
true. I mean, Axe, it's not popular at all, and they have like 1 million. And there's Jug, who's pretty. It's a noob-friendly hero. I think we can agree on that. And
yes.
I can
they
play
have
him.
a lot of items for him, so I guess it makes sense in that regard. But personally, I don't like this one very much. But there's plenty of other choices, so not a big deal. Next, we got now this one is a little bit questionable, from what I've talked to a few people. Morphling. What do you guys think of
Hate
Morphling
it.
having like stuff all over him?
I saw this last night, and I got really excited. I
Yeah.
actually really like this a lot. And I showed it to one of my Morphling friends, and I was like, this looks awesome. And I would think about the customization. I mean, what else are you going to put on this guy? He's made out of water. You could change his colors. You could put rocks in him or something weird like that. But I think this, kind of like a watery armor set. Was this a fan one, by the way? Like, this is some random guy that made this?
Yeah.
I think it looks really cool, honestly. Kind of like
I'm
makes me
gonna
think he's
list
like some
5
mermaid dude or
better
something.
things they could have done.
All right, go for it. I want to hear him.
Sunglasses.
All right. Number 1, his armor could be made of coral. That would be
Okay.
awesome.
That'd be
Number
pretty cool.
2, they could put fish in him.
That'd be cool.
Also
How
awesome.
many fish, though?
I
Sounds complicated for
feel like
modeling
maybe
as well,
maybe
by the
2
way.
fish. They kind of I believe in Valve.
So he's just gonna be
Um,
covered in fish.
No, inside him, swimming around like
Exactly,
those old
it's-
70s boots.
They can't do
So if
that. I don't
if
think
you
that
put a
can be
fish
done.
inside him and you think about him throwing an attack animation, that fish would have to like rotate the same way every single time, and that wouldn't look right. It would have to almost like swim and like float. It sounds very complicated.
All right,
I
so
said
first
they'd be
one,
awesome,
the
not
coral
possible.
thing. Yeah, the second one's not possible. First one was actually a good idea, which I was shocked about. Keep going.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, it'd be great. Just even this set, like if you just change it to like a coral texture, it'd be awesome. Let's see, what else did I have before I was rudely interrupted? You said the rock thing, so I'm gonna cut that out because you already were mad about it. But rocks was one of them, like river rocks or something for armor. The other thing, he's essentially a wave, so maybe armor that just looks like foam, like that comes up on the tide when it hits the beach.
It would just look like semen. I don't think you could get around that.
Just little things like that. But
All right, just
So
stick with the
that's-
coral. You shouldn't have
I
done
like the
5.
coral idea. That's
Yeah,
really
coral's
cool.
good.
You should have spent like coral and just left it. Then your argument would have been really impressive.
Yeah,
yeah,
now you
but then
just
I
watered
wouldn't
it
be
down.
Reaves.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You would not be Reaves.
I gotta
Yeah, this,
maintain my character.
But you're right. There isn't a whole lot they can do with this hero. So I'm interested to see how this looks in game. Through this thing, I don't think it looks very good personally, but I'd have to see it in game.
The first screenshot looked good, and I remember there was another one farther down that I looked at, and it looked not as cool. But I don't know. I think it's still an improvement. It's better than I think Morphling looks awesome in Dota 2, I must say. But
Yeah.
I think cosmetic things are going to be nice.
He
Looks
could get
like something
sunglasses. That's the
terrible
last
way.
thing I can think of. Sunglasses, or
I
a
don't think there's gonna
mustache.
be any sunglasses, to be honest.
Give him a mustache, a really thick beard, something like that.
like a seaweed mustache. All right,
Oh, yeah.
hair, seaweed hair,
Seaweed.
done.
Yeah, there you
Done.
go. Like a.
Should add that. Add
give
that
him
to
like
those
a
views.
seaweed afro. How about that? Even better.
Could see that maybe.
Maybe dress him up like a surfer. He floats around on a surfboard. There's
No, he just carries
possibilities.
a surfboard the whole time. It's under his arm at all times.
I think
and
if
when
he
he waveforms, he rides his wave with the surfboard.
See,
I think we're getting into League
there's
of Legends
potential.
territory here
There's
with that.
potential.
He
Is it
wears
really
like
that bad?
he wears like trunks or
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever. Anyway.
He doesn't have legs though.
Yes, League of Legends territory. I think that's where we're getting to. Anyway, Omniknight is the next one for the Armor of the Purest Champion set. I remember Reaves, you were talking about this. There were certain things you didn't like about it, but you loved the hammer, which I agree with.
I love the hammer. I actually just won the shoulder pads like
Oh,
2
yeah.
days ago.
Can't wait for
So-
you to feed with Omniknight next game.
I'm sick of winning shoulder pads on all the freaking heroes. That's the part I seem to win on every hero is shoulder pads, like little like salt. What's the word? Skulls? No, Never mind. Shoulder pads suck.
They look very
Shawl-
similar to a set
shawls.
that I already have. Some like Radiant Crusader or something. They look just like the shoulder pads specifically look very similar to a shoulder pad that I already have on Omni.
The
Which I
one
haven't
thing,
actually
the one
quit.
thing I like that I know Reaves doesn't like is the circlet of nobility on his forehead. I think that's pretty cool. It's a good idea.
Let's see where they have a circlet of nobility.
I think it looks stupid, first of all, because you can't frickin' see it. It's the same
Gold.
color as his hair.
That's true. But it is, you know, Omniknight. So
I guess. I wish they'd have done the rest of his armor the same color as the blue on his hammer.
yeah, actually, if his circlet was blue, that would be a little bit better, to be honest.
Yeah, I would.
All right. Anyway, the last one we're going to talk about that was put in the game by a workshop-related thing is the Witch Doctor Tale Teller set. What do you guys think about this bad boy?
Scrolling.
He's carrying a drum on his back. Has some
He's got
skulls.
another scarf to hide his janky teeth.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, I still don't like it as much as like the cheapest mask you can buy for him. That's just like the white paint on a plank. I love that mask.
I think it looks cool. I don't know.
But yeah, it looks cool. It's just not. I still don't like it as much as what we already have.
I don't see. I feel like I don't see Witch Doctor very often.
Well, I'm
Be-
bound.
Before the items came out, we never saw him, and then when the items came out, like the store came out, he was in it immediately. Saw him a little bit more for a couple of weeks, and then now nobody plays him again. So
Yeah, it's definitely very overlooked as a support hero,
Yeah.
for sure.
I love him, and I give it 2 days before I win the frickin' shawl because it's over his shoulders, and I'll win nothing else.
sounds good. All right, so we're moving on to the Dota 2 scene news of the week, which honestly there was not very much. So it's going to be slim pickings here. You only have one story, and I don't know how much we're going to talk about it. Valve releases the invites for the international Chinese casters, which doesn't really relate to us at all. But there's 3 separate teams of casters just for the Chinese scene. We'll start with Purge, since this is kind of your territory. What do you think about this?
This sounds like leaked information for me. I know that some of the English casters have announced that they will be casting, but the roles of which are kind of hearsay from what I've talked to from a couple other people. Things aren't completely definite, so I basically can't give you guys any information about that. Other than that, this is like it's some news that the Chinese casters leaked and or were allowed to give out, and that's it.
They
So,
always seem to leak it too, don't they?
I don't know. There's
Like in the
lots of
international,
people that are
they
leaking
were the first
stuff.
ones to leak stuff in the international.
Were they?
Yeah.
Are you talking
Freaking
about those
Chinese.
screenshots?
Yeah.
It was pretty impressive that I didn't even see screenshots until the day before, like 2 days before. I thought that was pretty cool.
Well,
it
like
was
the
actually
screen, it was like photos of
that's
them
good hype.
playing it, and I was like one of those people zooming in to try to look at the screen in the background.
Yeah,
like,
everybody
oh,
was.
God.
Nerd.
that was
Yeah,
a good
nerd.
week though. That was a good week.
That
Saw
was
those
a good
images and we were like, oh my god, it's beautiful. And I
Honestly,
stayed up till 2 a.m.
not to get off on a tangent, but right when I saw the first screenshot, I had mixed feelings, to be perfectly
Really?
honest.
Well,
But
you're wrong.
after like a week or two, I was like, all right, it's pretty awesome. It's
I
just
thought
because it
looked a
kind of
little
reminded
bit
me of
too much
TF2.
like TF2.
Yeah, but now that it's just, I don't know what it is. It's just the art style I had to get used to. But it's not like it was awful. You know what I mean? But either way, it's infinitely better than any other game I've ever played. So no complaints here. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up this week. The last thing, and Purge has been dreading this. I know. We're gonna end with a little segment we like to call. Actually, we didn't call it anything. I don't know why I just said that. Purge, what is something that we don't know about you that you think is
Okay.
interesting or relevant or amazing? Anything.
I spent the last 45 minutes thinking about this. If you guys didn't notice, if I made any bad points or said anything stupid, that's why. Before, when was this? This was like, I was going to tell you guys when I visited, I had this internship in London during my last semester of college. That was pretty fun. And during that summer, it was, needless to say, I had a laptop, but I really couldn't play any games. And this was during the time period where I still played Warcraft 3 Dota. But I brought a Game Boy with me, and I really wanted to get all my Pokemon to level 100, and I hadn't played since I was a kid, so I like sit there and I grinded Pokemon all summer because I had no other video game to play. And when I got back, I played Warcraft 3, and I just was so happy with the graphics.
Oh
I got
my
to go back
God.
and play Dota again. It was such a weird. I mean, but you go from like Pokemon Gold and Silver to Warcraft 3, and it's a huge improvement. So
that's
that was
sad.
the most happy I was ever to see those graphics.
I'm
So
sure
that's my
Reeves is
story.
happy to hear that. He loves Pokemon.
No, I don't.
I now officially have
Digimon, bro.
15 level 100 Pokemon, and I haven't touched them. I destroyed my brother with them, and I haven't logged in since.
Wait,
It was
what
totally
kind of a
worth it.
Game Boy was this, and how long ago was
It
this?
was a Game Boy Color,
God,
and this was in 2009.
I never understood. Like I had the original Game Boy, and then I ended up getting the color, and Why didn't they ever have backlit screens? Like, I hated it. Like, Game Gear, which was like so old, had that.
Technology, maybe? I don't know.
The price.
It was just cheap.
Yeah, it was probably
Nintendo's
price
just cheap.
point or
Like,
something.
oh, you can buy this extra light that you can put on top of the game board, then you can actually see the screen.
Those
For
worm
Nintendo.
lights were the freaking worst, dude.
Yeah,
I hated
awful.
those things.
Anyway, thanks, Purge, for joining us. Any shout-outs you want to give?
Yeah, if you guys want to go check out my website, it's purgegamers.com, and follow me if you guys want to see when I stream on Facebook or Twitter. It's all the same extension, Purge Gamers. So I'm going to cast the rest of the Star Series land that's coming up the next couple days. I don't know when this is going to get posted, probably in like 4 weeks, so that's not going to be relevant at all. But
You know me.
yeah, I do a lot of casting on my Twitch channel. It's twitch.tv/ggNetPurge, or you can follow the stream on the website. I have so much stuff that I can plug endlessly. But most importantly, my YouTube channel, which is I'm most known for, which is youtube.com/PurgeGamers.
Reaves, any last words?
You're gonna let me talk?
I don't know. I was debating it, but I'm going to go with it and see what you
No, not really. These updates are fun, and once again, like since last week, we were like, "Who do you guys want to have on?" And it basically turned into a flame fest. Like, go Purge, fuck Purge on the other side. So we need new guest ideas, guys. So keep flinging them at us.
Yeah, all right. Well, thanks for joining us, guys, as usual. Any feedback, anything that you think is necessary to... Anything that's not... Actually, I love Flamed, I'm not going to lie. So I love reading them.
I'm not going anywhere, guys. So
It's entertaining to read.
keep it coming.
So thanks for watching. Until next time, guys, have a good one.